This is Stephanie March with Mpls.St.Paul Magazine, and I am here at the Meritage. So tell us a little bit why you decided to bust through the wall and create an oyster bar.
Well, we're excited to have a bar.
Yeah, right, a bar.
You know, and we've added 40 more seats, and we can offer happy hour and late night dining and all that. But the oyster bar is where my passion is. I grew up on the ocean. I did a lot of clam digging with my grandfather as a kid. For me, I'm bringing a little bit of the ocean to St. Paul.
It's needed, man. Get the ocean here right now. What do you got?
This is a Malpec oyster from Malpec Bay in Prince Edward Island. An oyster filters about 1.5 gallons of water an hour.
Oh.
And so wherever they're grown, the different algae and things that are in the water really influence the flavor.
What kind of flavors do we find from the Malpec?
Well, what we're going to find on the East Coast is that our oysters are going to be firmer and brinier. When we get over to the West Coast, we're going to find that the oysters have a deeper cup and they're a little bit more creamy in texture. The West Coast oyster has that kind of scallop shell like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to do what I just did, which is dump all the juice out.
No. That's the goodness. That's the goodness.
Exactly. This liquor that's in there, the juice of the oyster.
The oyster liquor.
There it is. Yeah. And that's an oyster lover loves that. And you know, the best way to have an oyster for me, just a naked oyster, you know, and you just.
Now, do you chew? Oh, you're chewing a little bit.
I'm a chewer.
A cushy.
K-U-S-S-H-I. It's a really special West Coast oyster. And what's fun about this is these two oysters are actually the same species. And you can see on the bottom, this has kind of got that scalloped edge.
Yeah.
But this has kind of got, this oyster has kind of a smooth edge.
Oh, nice.
And when they raise these, they keep them in a tumbler and they toss them around until the shell gets nice and smooth like this. And they develop this really deep cup.
All right, well, I'm going to tip it because you got to just tip it and sip it. It is so briny and salty, but there's really sort of maybe a little citrus to it too, a little brightness. Now, how are your oysters here going to be different from anybody else's oysters?
We're working on bringing in a lot of unique oysters that you don't see in the Twin Cities.
So you're going to have kind of a corner on some of these oysters, and you're not going to be able to find them anywhere else in the metro?
In fact, that's exactly our goal, is to have things that are unique that you're not going to find anyplace else. We're going to be carrying anywhere from 10 to 15 varieties of oysters at a time.
Thanks a lot, Russell, and this is Stephanie March from Mpls.St.Paul Magazine saying, see you later.